If you're new to programming, Python is the perfect language to start off with. Python's syntax is similar to English, so it's easier to pick up than other languages. What's syntax? Just like how humans have languages with grammar, syntax is like the programming language's grammar. To start, you can install Python or use an online compiler. For simplicity, we can just use an online compiler for right now, but you can download it too if you want to. The links for both of these are in the description. On the left, this box is where you write the code. The title is main.py. Main is the file's name, and py is what goes at the end of a Python file's name, similar to an image having .png at the end. On the right, it says shell. The shell is also called the console, and this is where whatever you write in the program is output. Looking at the code, you can see the word print, and right next to that, hello world, surrounded by quotations and parentheses. If you press run, see how it outputs hello world into console? Try changing the text to something else and press run. This is the print function, which lets you write things into the console. What's a function? A function is like a set of instructions that you can reuse again and again. Print is the name of the function. Just like everybody you know has a name you call them by, functions have a name you call them by too. After the name of the function, you're always going to have two parentheses. Sometimes you'll have something inside the parentheses like we do over here. This is when you input something inside the function. We'll go over functions more later, and you don't need to remember anything except that print lets you write things into the console. Okay, what if you want to add another print function? Place your cursor at the end of this line and press enter to create a new line. Make sure you're putting this new line or else you'll get syntax errors. Remember, syntax is like the programming language's grammar. Think of each line as a sentence in a story, and each statement as a word in that sentence. If you put two print statements on one line, then it's like saying two different sentences at once, and that would be confusing. On this new line, copy what's above. You can press Shift 9 and Shift 0 on your keyboard to get the parentheses. Also, don't forget the quotation marks. We'll get into why those are there in a later video. Change the text to something else and press run. See how your two print statements got written in the order they are in the code? The first one in the code gets printed first, and then the second. In Python, the computer reads the code from top to bottom. Now, you might have noticed these two gray lines with hashtags preceding them. These are called comments, and when the computer reads the code, it skips over them. Comments are really useful for writing notes to yourself to understand what the code is. You can also use comments to stop a line from running, which is useful when trying to debug code. Try writing a comment to yourself under one of these lines. You can also write comments to the right of lines. Since the computer skips them, it doesn't get confused and think there are two sentences at once. Press run and you can see that nothing changes after adding these comments. If you didn't understand anything I said in this video, don't worry, it'll all make sense later. Ask a question in the comments if you want. Just remember that the shell or console is where whatever you write in your program is output, and you can use the print function to write things into the console. Everything needs to have its own line because Python is read from top to bottom by the computer. Also, you can use comments to write notes to yourself without affecting the code. Here's a quick challenge for you. Try creating a program that has two print statements, one for your name and one for your age. Also give yourself a comment telling me what the code you wrote does. The answer will be down in the comment section, but I encourage you to try doing it on your own first.